federal cases, they don't prosecute on domestic violence. So if that was something, that's something more so you're going to see on the state level. What it's doing is painting this picture, like I said, for the jurors to see that he is not a good guy.
Is that people think that entertainment is being controlled by these rappers, and really it's these rooms, it's these small rooms of politics and political figures that are picking and choosing who that they can control and manipulate the most.
Police officer lady said, man, the problem is with all this domestic violence shit, like, yes, ain't no man got no problem, ain't no man got no right putting their hands on a woman. But a lot of these women these days, they be provoking the hell out these situations. They be.
I don't like it to see it on the men's side, but as men physically and their strength. Come on now.
We looking at the
we
double
know that's
standard.
It's not. I don't want to say that double standard. But
yes,
if you
it is.
That's
a double standard.
Took it to my nigga country and he killed her with the pot.
Traps got a hold on me.
50 racks to my jewelry, yeah, I killed him with the watch.
Hey man, I'd like to welcome you all back to another episode of Untrapped Minds podcast. I'm your host, Real Coach Rube, and today I'm being joined by my boy Weezy,
Facts.
my boy Boss Man Wee,
for sure,
and my homegirl Fallon.
What's up?
You know what I'm saying? You know how I do, man. We just like to have conversations, you know what I'm saying, from Wright Street to Wall Street, from MLK to Hollywood Boulevard, talking about the politics of what's going on inside our culture and having the conversations that could potentially, you know what I'm saying, unlock the mind to make our community a better place. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsor. We're wearing them today, and I'm sitting here with one half of the ownership of it, Saks Full Clothing Line.
Yes, sir. It's a new urban high-end fashion line, sacks full, you know what I'm saying?
Everybody say they got high-end
means
fashion.
you got your sack full, you know what I mean? Like, and we ain't just talking about paper, man. We talking about everything. Your sack is full if you write a sack's full. You did. Shout out
At the
to
beginning
my boy
of the episode, man, perfect introduction to my boy Weezy. He gonna big cap everything, man. My boy gonna big cap luxury fashion line.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Luxury urban line, you feel
urban
me?
fashion.
Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? We don't wear that.
Yeah,
well, I don't, you know what I mean?
Sure.
They ain't getting my money.
Yeah, pocket.
It's real fashion. It's real us.
Money in their pocket. I like it though. You know what I'm saying? I think it look good on me. I'm looking like, you know, all
like
white,
money.
feeling godly.
Yeah, you feel
You know what I'm saying? Looking godly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
That's
we gonna have us a godly episode today.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with it all day.
Everything that's going on this episode is in Hollywood today anyway. Man, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. Like between the Diddy trial that's going on and the Tory Lanez situation that's going on. Man, there's so much going on with people that's incarcerated, presently incarcerated, basically fighting for their life. Tory Lanez, literally, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's crazy because I'm sitting here and I'm watching this Diddy, I'm watching the highlights from the Diddy trial, and I can't help but to think to myself, like, this like feels real high school. You know what I'm saying? We talking about the girl that's, you know what I'm saying, giving head, you know what I'm saying, up underneath the bleachers. You know what I'm saying? Like it just feels real gossipy for a federal case. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even know, like, has anything come up yet that's like legal? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, he's guilty of something illegal, like by law. Like, well, I'm sitting here watching this, like they present evidence, and all of the evidence just seemed like it's some freaky shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
It seems like it's just embarrassing. It's more of a form of embarrassment than really, like, if we can't get your money right now, you embarrassed us by having so much money, so now we finna embarrass your whole character.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
Culture. But we gonna accept them back, gay and all.
But this the thing,
No Diddy.
No
That's
Diddy.
the first no Diddy. That's the
no
first no Diddy of the
fuck with
episode.
Diddy, though.
Oh man, that's the
the-
first
the-
no Diddy of the episode.
The real underhand play is something bigger, man. You know
No
what I mean?
Diddy, I ain't
It
fucking with
got-
Diddy, but
It's a domestic violence case. Him and a freak, and him being a freak as well. That's all this is. And the underhand play is something. There's conversation going on in back rooms. He pissed somebody off about some money, some
pissed
real
somebody
paper.
off.
That's all this about. So his so-called elite friends ain't fucking with his campaign no more. Now he a nigga again. So he said what it feel like to be back on our side of the street. That's all.
I mean, he's in MDC in LA, so he really has no other choice but to be black. You know what I'm saying, in a situation like that. And so I brought her along, Fallon, on this episode. She's our resident lawyer. You know what I'm saying, on this cast, this interesting mix and cast of people.
Yeah.
Am I wrong about that? Like, you know, doesn't this seem kind of immaturish for a federal case?
Well, I think that's the point of emphasis because they want the jurors to know how bad of a guy that Diddy is in their opinion.
Oh,
right?
okay. So they're painting a
So
character picture.
it's the start of a trial, and when you think about these trials, both sides have a strategy. So in public opinion, it's been rumored, you know, he had these freak offs that, you know, he was very abusive. We saw the hotel video of Cassie. So that was nothing surprising. So it's like now they've been stacking the cards, all of the information to say, oh, he was abusive on this day. Cassie goes through the whole timeline of their relationship. Then they brought up Kid Cudi yesterday. He testified, or a couple of days ago, about his involvement and how he believes, or I don't even think he could really prove, that Diddy broke into his house, messed with his personal items, and then also torched his Porsche at some point at a later date.
Right, he claimed that his car got blown up or something like that.
Right. But in the point of, they still have to prove the sex trafficking aspect. Federal cases, they don't prosecute on domestic violence. So if that was something, that's something more so you're going to see on the state level. What it's doing is painting this picture, like I said, for the jurors to see that he is not a good guy. And then hopefully as this trial continues, we start to see more of the story if they can prove that this is more of a sex trafficking case. So far, I haven't seen it. And when you see the likes of Brian Steele, which we know after the YSL trial, how that turned out with Thug, you know, he's on every probably criminal defendant, celebrity defendant's radar right now of stepping in and trying to save the day. And, you know, I got a lot of respect and belief in what Brian Steele can do. So it's going to be interesting to see how this trial continues and how they maneuver and get through those aspects of the sex trafficking, more so out of the domestic violence.
So because to me, I don't know, like this just, it feels like, I've been the starter and vehement backer of passing legislation on the False Accuser Act, right? So I see the video, the Cassie video, and I'm like, okay, yeah, Diddy, you are a fuck nigga. You deserve whatever comes to you on a domestic violence, right? If they gonna charge you for domestic violence, you know what I'm saying? If there's a case on you for domestic violence, you are guilty. You know what I'm saying? Like you drug her on camera. You know what I'm saying? Like you are guilty, 100% of that, right? But then I'm looking at what's going on. I'm like, the feds just gave Cassie a platform to like be a bitter ex-girlfriend on the stand, and she pregnant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That gets you more sympathy.
And I'm like, and it gets you more sympathy. It's like did y'all get this lady pregnant on purpose, like right on time for the trial? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause cause remember he put out for an extension on the trial or whatever. It was like, right now we got to do it right now. It's
totally. Like, if I was his defense,
it's like
I would do the same thing.
We're gonna put this pregnant lady
a total
up here.
bias to that.
It's like a conspiracy.
And now she's just like
for some money,
unloading all of her dirty laundry. You know what I'm saying? And, what's her husband name? Alex Fine. Somebody check on Alex, man. We need to figure out if he really fine, man, because he's probably not doing so well after listening to all of this freaky ass shit.
He already knew.
What you mean? It's a whole different story to kind of know into all the way.
When he hired as the damn what you call it?
Did not
He was
look
the trainer.
Cassie did not look at this man in the face and say, hey man, I let Diddy and all these other people piss on me. I'm into all that type of shit.
I don't think she said it to the extent of like.
Yeah, but I'm saying that the court said it. I'm saying that inside the court.
But he know he got a hoe.
Does he?
Know this.
He knows this now.
If
he didn't know, he knows now. I'm saying, right? If he's not traumatized by, if there has to be, I don't care what's going on, bro. If you come home pregnant or not, I know we got kids, bro. When you walk into the house, bro, the only thing I can see is you getting pissed on.
Well, he need to be seeing if that's his baby.
That's what he needs.
Yeah, because this, from her past track record, she fucking other people and not telling you.
Yeah, I mean, everybody too.
You know
like,
so
let's talk
that might
about
not be
this
your
aspect.
baby.
Now, when Diddy started messing with Cassie, what was she, about 20, 21 years old? Think about that age gap, and if we compare it to something similar that just came out with Shannon Sharp, right? And we ain't gonna get into that, but I'm just saying the age gap of just making some decisions.
Looking forward
I'm not saying that she wasn't,
G'd
because it was similar to the situation of young girls going with R. Kelly back in the day, right? You want to get a music contract, you want to sign. Parents don't even intervene because they just see the starter.
Cassie had fell off.
Well, Cassie only to me had one hit song.
So when she
that's all she ever had.
All the dick sucking,
she was a pretty
it
girl.
was kind of like she had to keep up with the new artist that was out, because if I want to stay relevant with Diddy,
but he ain't putting nothing else out. So what is that? Control?
No, that's like I want to be down.
Maybe
by any means necessary.
Yeah, I want to be down.
When I don't, wanting to be down, and then you sending aggressive text messages, basically saying you the one that's kicking off the freak off. Like, I understand that Diddy is a freaky dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a real sicko. Yeah. I don't have no. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you want to do behind closed doors. That's on you. Cool. But
that's the whole thing.
Sicko. What is
consistently? What is their personal business? The issue about?
But I'm saying all the way across the board, the man is sicko. Right, yeah. With every relationship, this is going back in history. The witness list is long. Whatever. I'm saying this dude is 100% sicko status. So what does this make her? Because she is leading. It's not like a situation where she's following the sicko. She's leading off some of these. You know what I'm saying? Sicko. You know what I'm saying? So she's a sicko.
Well, the thing is, I think we get caught up in it. She's never said, like, from what I can tell from her testimony, she's never made an allegation that she wasn't consensually involved in all of these sex acts. So we know that. So that's not surprising. Now,
so what if
the belief is
what character are we talking about? The belief
is she's trying to show evidence of her being controlled by it, or feeling that he had something over her head during the entire period of their relationship, that she had to do this to keep him happy.
She stuck around for 10+ years.
Did. But I can't talk about when you talk about women who are either involved in domestic violence.
This lady
when they make outcries.
This lady said that she basically was raped by him.
Well,
right.
Yeah, she did, and then turn around and said
2 weeks later
she had consensual sex.
There's a message saying,
so the first time. Okay, so it was insinuated. So the first time they had sex?
No, they broke up at one point. They broke up at one point. He supposedly came to the house, took the cookie, and then they went out on the date, and she gave him the cookies.
Supposedly. Right? He took it, right? This is what she's saying. She's saying that she was raped, right? But then 2 weeks later, they got messages. This is what Steele brought up. So 2 weeks later, you got messages
asking about another freak off or something like that.
Yeah, talking about you want the D.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if 2 weeks ago you just got raped, how in the world are you a rape victim 2 weeks ago, and then you're the one that's starting up?
Man, she into fetishes.
But that's why you
into
need
fetishes.
a great defense team.
You gotta understand, because
point out those inconsistencies.
Every day a different day. So he could have raped her one day. She didn't want to fuck, and I done took some pussy before, but I ain't rape it. You kind of feel me? But what if he took some pussy before?
That's
It's a difference.
What if he took some and then
she
was like, boom, she counted as rape.
Now listen. No. Okay, so let's draw a clear line here, right? When you're in a relationship with somebody, right, male or female, right, there are points in time where if I'm the male in the relationship, and I'm like, oh yeah, we in a relationship, I need to get some pressure off. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel like it, but too bad. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel like it today, too bad. You know what I'm saying? You got to take that. Yeah. So there is that where, you saying, okay, that to me, you saying that's what take it is? Mm-hmm. Okay, so to me, that's not rape. That's a part of being in a relationship, because on the flip side, hold on, let me finish. So on the flip side, me as a man, as sexy as I am, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be times where my old lady like, you know what? You got to give me some of that. You know what I'm saying? And I might not feel like it. You know,
You
I
just
just
ain't no bitch-ass nigga like
I just got back from working out or whatever like that going on, or I've been with the kids training or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't be a sex symbol all the time, you
Nigga,
know.
that's the real nigga. Cassie ain't
So
a real nigga.
if she's like, okay, no, but you know, I feel like it, and I don't care if you don't feel like I'm finna take it. So there's something inside of a relationship when you're in a relationship with somebody that
Man, that's foreplay, man.
Yeah.
The
well,
hell?
you
That's
wanna call it
foreplay.
foreplay, but I'm saying if that's against your will, then that shouldn't be considered rape.
I
I'm
got
saying,
raped
Yeah, I
before.
mean,
even though
against
you
your
don't-
will is
even
you
though-
fighting her
even-
off of you,
Yeah, even
or
if-
she
even
fighting
though
him
you don't-
off of you.
even
Off
though
of
if you
him.
I've
don't
been
feel
raped
like
before.
it that day, that shouldn't be
I
consistent.
got a kid. Like I got a kid right now. I tell everybody I was really raped. Like a girl said, "Come here." I followed her because it wasn't normal for a nigga to, you know, we don't get chose. Like, come here.
Yeah.
Boom, I followed her in the it was a reception. Followed her in the little kitchen at the reception after the wedding. She just started kissing on me. Inserted for soul food. 10 seconds on the wall. We gotta get a room after this. I ain't want to do it, but you know what I mean. Now she kept the baby. I got a kid with the girl. All off this one soul food pump. I wasn't raped, and I paid for. I'm like, no, I can't have no kids. She had the kids. This kind of go with the like, she needed to be locked, needed to charge.
That was consensual, my
That
boy.
was
You
consensual.
definitely
Pushed off.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but I'm a real nigga. I ain't go back to the police and say this happened.
But I'm saying, how did you? There's no way that you inserted. You know what I'm saying?
you trying to say she
without
did
it being
that?
consensual.
Without a fight.
No, even if
She
you pushed
pulled you and
off.
was holding you.
Yeah, I'm a small guy. All mine bigger than me. She pulled me in close to her, and by the time I realized.
So was you
I was
drunk,
being
high?
raped,
What?
I probably
You
was.
probably a
under
little lit
influence.
at
I don't
that
know if she put nothing in
reception,
my
huh?
drink. I don't know. Well, I'm telling you, I didn't want it to happen. Like,
Guess
Cassie,
what? Ain't no statute of limitations on rape.
I'm just saying, I ain't want it to happen, but what made me different from a female?
So basically, if you saying this, and this is what we talking about, right?
Sometimes
if
they
she
wanna
hits
fuck.
the lottery, right? Your baby mama, if she hits the lottery for $100 million and she don't come, because this is what we saying talking about. If she hits the lottery for $100 million and you approach her and say, "Hey man, listen, you know what I'm saying? I've been staying down, child support. I've been support, even though you know what the situation was the whole time."
the same baby mama.
Yeah, the same baby mama. She hits for $100 million, and you go to her and you be like, "Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got to shoot me at least $5 million or something." You know what I'm saying? And then she tell you, "Hell no, what you mean? I'm not finna give you no money. You ain't put in on this lottery ticket, even though you been child support, supporting her, supporting the kid, whatever." So she tells you, "Hell no," which is within her legal rights, right? Then now,
Double standard. It ain't
right,
gonna
what
work.
you have the ability to do, according to how the law is set up, which they need to put something in place for this. You
The
can
double
just
standard don't
say
work.
and go, "Hey, no, she raped me." You know what I'm saying? And then now you could build up a whole situation basically where you're extorting her, because it's the same thing that happened with Diddy. Cassie, they got the video. Busby, you know what I'm saying? This the guy. He's in the mix to all this. So if she hits for $100 million, you need to get in contact with Tony Busby, because you got according to what's going on right now, you got a case on your hands.
Double standard ain't gonna work.
Because hell no, it better
Double
work.
standard ain't gonna work.
No, it
It's
better
not.
work.
It's
And
not.
Busby has no interest
The double
in
standard
representing
is.
men. It's just like
there's-
certain
Nah, hell
attorneys
no,
I know
Tony Busby better
in
take the
family
case.
law around
And
here.
he better win
They
too.
represent the women because they already know where the money gonna come from. Usually it's gonna be
It's a double
awarded to
standard.
the
It ain't
woman
gonna work.
or the mother.
Well, that's the other part that I'm saying, because Cassie got 18 million, didn't she?
20.
Yeah, and she said she's up
$3.99
for
too.
another 10 with the hotel with the Intercontinental.
Okay, so
the video.
because
hid it.
of the security and they hid it, and she wasn't
I
protected.
mean,
all of those
she's
things.
not getting all that money. She gets a portion, but
yeah, Tony Busby gonna get at least a third. So she just got 18 to 20 million,
that's true. Too.
right?
She got hush
For-
money from Diddy. Diddy cut
that's
that
what
check.
I'm saying. She got the hush money, right?
And he
but
was quick to
then
pay
now
it.
on the back
Yeah,
end,
he paid it
he
because
paid
at the end of the day, he like, shit, don't let our business get out in the
No,
streets.
they dropped
It's
the
more so
video.
his business.
They
Yeah,
dropped the
but it's
video.
really their business because they was both participating.
Then 2
They
days
was the
later,
ringleaders.
you remember wherever he was at? He was in a gazebo somewhere. I don't even know where. He looked like he was at a crib.
was in
He looked like he
Miami,
was at a
where he
crib
was
park
hanging out
of
with
Old
Carisha.
National, up underneath the gazebo at a cookout. and he got he delivered a, you know what I'm saying? I'm
That
sorry.
fake ass statement.
That-
He
I'm
shouldn't have
sorry.
did that.
Yeah, that was terrible. We
You know,
shouldn't
feel
have.
sorry for
Shouldn't
me,
have did
and
I
it
had no
backfired on him.
sympathy. Big
You
time.
shouldn't have did that, even though you know that's a part of the VSS approach: violence, sex,
Listen, man.
and sorrow.
At the end of
That's
the day,
how you go viral. So
At the end
he
of the
wanted
day,
to- he
all
wanted
that
people
shit
to
be
feel sorry
bullshit.
for him.
Just like when I was just in Wright Street, nigga, not too long ago, a police officer lady said, man, the problem is with all this domestic violence shit is she is like, yes, ain't no man got no problem, really a man got no right putting their hands on a woman. But a lot of these women these days, they be provoking the hell out these situations. They be waiting until the police get on the scene. Now you every fuck nigga, bitch, nigga, faggot, this,
man,
that,
my
and the
boy got
third.
pressure.
And then
Oh, my
goddamn,
God. Hold on.
she may even swing on
Wait,
you. Now
hold on,
it's on the
guys.
nigga to press the
Wait.
charges
Hold
on
on.
her because the police waiting on you to press the charges.
Time out. My boy
But
got pressure. We just wait.
a nigga ain't gonna do
before
it.
My boy go, but before my boy go all the way in.
Nah, it go all the way like that all the
The reason
time.
why my boy Weezy has pressure is because he is in the midst of a false accuser act case right now, presently.
Yeah.
How many times you done been locked up 2 different times?
Two
for this
different
situation.
times. I went ahead on and took the probation on this shit.
And then now you got to take the probation because you don't want to deal
Yeah, because
with it no more.
the next step that
So
they
hold
do
on,
is they
hold
pull
on,
my
no,
record
bro.
on me.
Come on, I know, bro. You got pressure, bro, but the people don't know, right? So your false accuser act, if the false accuser act was in place to protect you, how did your situation go?
Shit, my situation was some real live BS. Nobody was physically harmed. Even in the police report, all they said was she was scared, and they mentioned a pistol that was in my house. They used my record against me and was like, "You did this."
What did she say, bro? I'm not talking about
Oh.
police report. What did she accuse you of? How did the police get to the house?
The police got to the house because she left the house. Supposedly, I don't know because I was already like done with the situation. Supposedly, she was walking down the street crying, and somebody assisted her and called the police for her.
That's what the story. That's what she.
That's the story.
So if the police call, what did she tell the police that got you arrested?
That we got into a fight in front of our son.
A physical altercation. All right. That's what we into the nitty gritty of it. The police were called. They got there. However they got there. She looked at the police and told them that y'all got into a physical altercation in front of your son. That's what you got charged with.
Yeah.
And
said he has a gun.
And she said that she was in fear for her life because you had a gun. And you're saying that there was no 0% truth to this, that you did not get into a physical altercation with her.
I ain't got the time. I already know what come behind that. I ain't got the time. I ain't finna, man, listen.
And you've told me that, because the people don't know, you've told me in conversation between us that she has acknowledged that you guys didn't get into a physical altercation.
But it was $1 late and a day late and $1 short. Because goddamn, like they said,
Once the state picks up the case,
once the
there's
state
nothing
picks
that
up
you
the
can do
case, they
about
put this shit on a wheel.
And so-
That's what they say. They put this shit on the wheel and they look at your criminal history and say, what's the likelihood of his story being a lie, her story being the truth. She don't got a criminal record. He has an extensive criminal record, and he has violent charges. He did this.
Well, and so then now it comes to a point, and this is what the false accuser act that needs to get passed in 2025 should be in place in situations like this. And what I'm saying is that the time that you spent, the mental anguish and things that you went through, all of those things should be paid back in full. She should have to go through that same time, and you should be able to get mental health evaluation on her dime, and you should whatever the things that the potential of money that you could possibly have lost and everything. There has to be something in place to where when a accuser, I'm not going to say male or female, when a accuser goes overboard without evidence and accuses somebody of doing something without being able to prove it, and it does irreparable harm and damage to their character and their life and their finances.
Right. But just the thing though, in order for that to get in place, first and foremost, we of our skin color have to have the actual opportunity to be innocent.
Well,
We're
you
guilty
this
of
is not a
everything
skin color
before.
thing. I think this is
we're
got
guilty.
false reporting of
Yeah.
a crime.
We got.
But you got to think about it. With most domestic violence cases, especially like around Atlanta, you know, say if you in Fulton County or anywhere, prosecutors, if they feel like and they get evidence, like when I was a public defender, you know, I might fight my tail off. I had tons of domestic violence cases. And I would say the majority, the person was probably guilty of what they were accused of. Now, sometimes it may escalate, like you said, to where you adding stuff because you know he's on probation, or you know that he can't be around weapons, or you know it was a protective order and you shouldn't even been near her in the first place. She could just call the police. So it's a way for women to try to so-called protect themselves, but I see how sometimes it can be used to weaponize whoever they're dealing with as that threat, even if they're trying to get it right. I've seen both sides of it.
A lot of the
But
situations.
at the same time, prosecution, they don't want to even prosecute the women. If it comes down to it, they'll just dismiss the case.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's
You
what
see
I.
what I'm
That's
saying?
what I'm tired of. I'm tired of that part of it. Of okay, we gon' in order to save and protect the accuser, we're gonna sweep this case under the rug because guess what? The person that's the person that's being accused, they just wanted to be over with,
no, check
right?
this out.
No, hell no. We need
But it's the
stronger
thing, though.
legislation in place to where the
not
person
gonna
feels
work.
confident that they're going to be reimbursed. I get what you're saying, Weezy.
Because
What I'm saying is
you
that
know why they're not-
you
they
have the
may not do
confidence.
that.
You have the confidence to counter
Because
sue.
it'll silent real victims.
And then
No, I'm
besides
saying
that,
if
look,
it makes you,
though,
no, I don't want to silence anybody. I want
That's
you to
what I'm saying.
think about it. I want you
that's
to
the thing,
think
though.
about what you're about to accuse of because
look, though.
you got the ability to maliciously
you think
target this person.
situation
But look though,
rather than talk
outside
about
of silencing real victims, outside of Bro Point, the biggest thing, and I'm just gonna keep it a buck, like we be passing over the real issues, the real bottom lines. The biggest thing is there's no money in locking up black women. The money is in locking up black men.
That's what
Keep the black men out of society.
I just want to say this, right?
That's
This
all it is.
domestic
It
violence
has
is not
nothing
a
to
black
do with
thing.
that. No,
This-
it's not
this
a black
is
thing.
this-
It's not a. It's a people thing. But what
Yeah,
I'm
so
saying is,
it
what
doesn't
I'm
matter
saying
if this
is,
is a white couple.
look,
it's
but listen to what
the
I'm
man-
saying though.
the man
Listen
is
to what
gonna
I'm
get-
saying
the man
though.
is gonna
Look,
get
look,
arrested.
listen, bro.
I just
Yeah,
I'm just putting it in because you keep saying black.
But yeah, but okay, so let's just be honest. That's why I said what I said earlier. A white boy with the same charge can go in front of the judge and he's innocent.
It's different white boys.
That's
now.
not true.
You see what I'm
got a lot of
saying?
different white boys.
It's a
You
lot
got
of different
trailer
white,
parks.
yeah,
That's
but
not
that's what I'm
true.
saying. But
Like,
the majority of the time he's innocent. You worked in law. Do they or do they not give us 80% higher sentences than they do anybody else?
No,
We catch the slack for everything.
You correct,
know.
'cause we a product of our environment.
It
but
depends, because I would say like where I was in Fulton, the majority of all my clients, they were black. So I could count on probably, no lie, both my hands in 6.5 years how many white clients, male, female.
Yeah,
I
because
had.
that's just a demographic.
Put it like this.
thing.
Because
How
it's
about this?
different.
I'm
You
gonna
just
give
don't
y'all a
see it.
scenario, right? I'm gonna give y'all a
Nah,
scenario.
but if
This
you
is
go,
a true
if you,
story,
if you
right?
go to
Somewhere
rural,
else.
if you go to
Yeah.
rural communities,
Hold
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 on,
it's
hold on,
domestic,
hold on.
and it's
True
domestic
story,
violence.
y'all. Listen,
The-
listen
the-
to me.
the-
What I'm finna tell y'all. What I just
the male-
experienced when I was
the
in
male
Wright
is
Street
going to
with
be
this shit.
railroaded.
Yeah.
This white boy come from money. Everybody thought he was like some weirdo, so they wasn't talking
Anybody
to him.
come from money,
Hold
go
on.
get it.
Listen
Get
to
him.
what I'm finna tell you. He was in jail for spazzing out at a family function, beat his mama ass, beat his daddy ass, and slapped his sister. They got so much money, they hired the attorney that Trump used. White boy was out of jail, processed and out
Steve Sadell, yeah.
within 18, maybe 24 hours. Out. Case dismissed.
Yeah.
How we found out was a cat that was in there was like, man, y'all keep playing homecoming for some paper. His lawyer is buddy on TV right now. He was doing something about Trump. I said that to say this.
But Weezy,
He
there are
admitted
there
to
are-
spazzing
there-
out,
there are-
beating his
there are
dad up,
situations where-
beating his mama up, and smacking
There are
his sister.
situations where black people do this. We're talking about it right now. Diddy had his situation swept under a rug because he had money.
For the longest.
Yeah, so what
then it
only
was-
thing that I'm saying to you is that this is not a black and white issue. This is
We're talking about Diddy and me. I was looking at 10 years because of my criminal background behind a domestic violence case.
Yeah, but we're talking about
He
domestic violence.
And y'all saying the same thing, but the money different. Diddy got way more money than you.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I'm saying. We talking about Diddy and me. It's no difference.
We're not talking about Diddy and you. Y'all are apples and oranges. We're talking about oranges and oranges. Diddy and the white boy that you said is rich are the same.
Yeah.
They were able to get off because they had money. That's
My
not a black
point.
or white thing.
But the solution to the thing, I think, we need our own way to snitch. So we not a snitch. So
Hell, God.
no, it sound bad. Okay, this girl hit me, right?
I think this is gonna be
Listen.
real interesting.
Need a
I want to
hotline
hear
or
this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every time it's a domestic case, the man just got his pride on the side. Now you want to be the snitch when the police come. I ain't do this shit. But maybe if you call this number that ain't the police, say, hey man, this bitch fucking with me. And then that's on the thing, and then it ain't the police. And then when the police come, hey, call this number. I already called them. I snitched to them.
see what you saying.
It's a more vent thing.
I
Because
like
niggas
that.
don't want to be a snitch already to the police. I don't want to be the police, but we going through it at the house.
I
But
like that.
The female gonna
See,
be the police.
victim hotline.
For insurance
Yeah.
purposes,
I want to call this snitch line.
there's
say
a
this
there's
bitch
a
is
there's
crazy,
a
bro.
there's
You
a
not- you
there's
don't
a
remain
Then when the
anonymous.
police come, hey,
No, it's
call
not-
snitch
it's not-
line and tell them I reported her already in case this shit happens.
Yeah, it's not anonymous.
Yeah,
this is
that's me, man.
I don't
This
want to
bitch-
be known in the street for a person that called the police on my significant other, or if there's something being done wrong by
How do
me.
you feel
I
about
don't
that?
want to be known
I have
as
a
the
way
person in the
about-
community.
As a bell, unless it gets super violent, like unless your chick, your woman pulls out a weapon, like a threat, like a knife, where it's getting serious. If it's just some hand pushing and throwing, and you call the police, I don't get that unless you just trying to de-escalate. Like, I want her out the house.
I don't
I
feel
don't
the man
believe in
should
getting
call the
nobody
police.
arrested
I feel
over
we
some
just need a
nonsense
nimble-
like
Wait
that.
a minute,
We need
but
to
Unless it's
women
super
do it all the
violent.
time.
I don't like it to see it on the men's side, but you know, as men physically and
Oh,
their
man,
strength. Come on now.
we looking at the
we
double
know that's
standard.
but it's not. I
We
don't
sitting
want to
in the
say
room
that
with
double
the double
standard.
standard.
But
Yes,
if you
it
put me in
is.
a room,
That's a double standard
If
statement.
you put me in a room with Weezy and we about to get to scuffling, I'm gonna try my best. But if he put I might lose that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but
'Cause
that doesn't
technically
mean
he a man.
that
So
just because I'm a
thinking,
man,
like,
I'm supposed to
well,
be able to take an unnecessary gut punch or a
I
kick
can
to
just
the
tell
balls,
you that's my personal
or
opinion
get
for a
smacked
man.
around
Unless
in the
it's
head.
something like
I agree
you
with
need
what
to
we
get out
saying.
the situation. And I hate to say that when I see it all the time, or I used to see it with clients. I be like, look, I know you might love this woman and y'all might have some kids, but she keep calling the police on you and keeps getting you locked up.
Yeah,
So-
so
And
that's
all
what a
it
nigga
is
should
putting
do.
you where you losing your
You know what a
apartment.
nigga should do?
You losing your job.
Just walk away.
Exactly.
No, you should.
Leave.
You
That's
should.
not
the
But,
way.
but hold on, because
But
this
you
is
would-
what
why everybody be there
you
for?
got a good
Cause I'm the
point.
type of nigga I ain't gonna fight you. I'm gonna tell you,
Why
call
would
your
you
uncle,
even
daddy,
say
brother,
that?
cousins. Call them niggas.
Because
call them
Unless
niggas.
it's control.
no,
gotta
what
think.
we is talking about is in a beta male situation, right? Where you are a subservient male, you are the subservient partner in the relationship, even though you are the male.
Yeah.
Right? That happens all the time.
does.
Right? So people suffer in silence in relationships all the time. So what happens is, and I'm thinking that this is what he's saying. What happens is that you suffer in silence for so long, right? And because you are a male, you get to the point to where you've suffered in silence for so long, you've taken this abuse for so long that you snap. And that when you snap, you go so big to overcompensate for all of the things that you let slide.
Yeah.
And now she calls the police and she's the victim, even though you've been the victim the whole time. She calls the police. She has the evidence right then and there. And then you're trying to plead your case and try to say, no, I'm the one that's the victim in this situation. Right. But now, because of what my boy just brought up, you could have been this whole time documenting, sending in pictures.
Everything
You know what I'm
was-
saying?
Yeah.
You know.
everything we
Building
talking
a
about.
case.
Everything we talking about today that I soaked in is really about accountability and handling your business.
Facts.
And it seems like the women handle their business more than the man. So when
Because they're not scared to call the police.
So when it comes to because they're not scared to call the police. So now when it comes to emotion, you
So
got one
men,
thing-
y'all got to stop being scared
You
to
got
call
one
the police.
thing, we ain't even supposed to be in this type of situation. That's the first thing. It's cool to say she lied on you, but you ain't even supposed to be in this type of situation.
Yeah, facts.
Two, how can I fix this situation before the police come? It's a lot of different things to where it can get fixed to where the police ain't even hearing the man's side by the time they come, because I wouldn't even be here.
Exactly.
If this shit was in order.
Exactly. And then the biggest thing too, to add to what you're saying, as far as men gotta first let their pride and their ego go in certain situations. Because guess what? It's a respectful fear amongst men and men. Two grown men get into it, right? Mm-hmm. Before the fuck niggas and this, that, and the third get thrown, it's looks, body gestures that let you know, nigga, the next word, I'm going in your shit, right? Mm-hmm. When a man is arguing with his woman, he's expecting her to give him that same respect that he's gonna get from another man. Cause in his mind, he like, I deal with gangsters, killers, this, that, and the third every day. Mm-hmm. This bitch out of her mind thinking she gonna talk to me like that. Right. She's an emotional creature. She's driven emotionally, nigga. You're driven logically. So you have to think outside the box, like, Shawty, I ain't studying you. That's why when I have gotten into it with women, you
saying totally right.
You feel me?
But even when you saying think outside the box, fuck the box. It's about what's going on right now. So, like, you know what I'm saying? So even when she angry, it's about, all right, you so smart to where you know she emotional, but it's about you having the emotional intelligence to know how to treat that. Not say it. I can say emotional intelligence. Yeah. I'm just saying it. But if I don't use emotional intelligence and know how, boom, I'm just a nigga saying good words.
Exactly. And emotional intelligence takes a lot of work, because I'm working on mine now.
Like, I'm just
the toughest part, and I like what you said, because you bring in emotional intelligence, and it goes right into the next thing that we were talking about as well. One thing about emotional intelligence, what intoxication does to cancel out emotional intelligence, like right there.
All
that's
the
what I'm
stuff
saying.
Diddy
Intoxication.
and Cassie were doing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Intoxication, because I don't want to say alcohol. I don't want to say it's all when you're intoxicated.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking. This Tory Lanez situation, right? Is exactly what you're talking about, where we're dealing with. I feel like the Tory Lanez situation is an emotional. He is a victim of having low emotional intelligence, right? So if I'm picturing, they leaving from a party, everybody's intoxicated, whatever altercation happens, whether it's between no matter who it's between, he's kind of the person that's in between it, no matter what, regardless, right? And I don't know, because the facts are still coming out on the case, I don't know exactly what happened, but when the police were called and he's a felon, he's automatically the person that's going to be at fault, right? And he's intoxicated, so his decision making.
Was he a convicted felon at the time?
Yeah, he was convicted felon already. So his decision making, being intoxicated, now that's canceling out the emotional intelligence part. Mm-hmm. See, now we're in a situation to where the bodyguard that was there at the scene is basically coming out and saying that Kelsey and Megan got into it, and that Kelsey was the one that had the firearm, and she's the one that pulled the firearm and showed the firearm, and that Tory went to go and try to defuse the situation, and the firearm went off.
I got a question.
Isn't that convenient though?
However it is, however it is, it's.
I've been around him.
Nope. So
I ain't never met him, but excuse me, I've been around the nigga here. Mm-hmm. He's all around like me and you, like all the way around, like a god for women. Like, oh, bring her, your friend.
Yeah, he's the life of the party.
Mm-hmm. Took my bitch. I seen the girl, like, boom, I went to the pool party to meet a bitch. She coming out with Tory, getting in the double R.
Yeah.
Getting in there with him. Waved at me like, hey.
Yeah. Even with that piece on the top of his head?
I don't think he had it glued then. It wasn't there then. It's back. But regardless, I can feel, like if a nigga got this type of shit going on, you know how females and like you saying intoxication going on. Mm-hmm. Just me hypothetically saying, all right, Tory over here with this girl, just from this. And they probably getting jealous of, because she already ain't Megan Thee Stallion. So if you Megan Thee Stallion friend.
The one he smacking both of them?
That's the type of lifestyle I feel Tory on. Like, I'm telling you,
this is already.
It escalated one of the Kardashians with
but you've been around this person. That's his setup. He more like he own that,
youngest
like,
one.
and he own like, nah, I'm sorry,
Kylie.
like if you want to.
No, I'm saying
Like, unless you don't do it.
It's already been established that he's, you know what I'm saying, knocking down both of them, right? So whatever the jealousy that's going on here is there's something that's going on. Now, this is just my opinion, right? This is not a part of any of the information proceedings or whatever, because you're saying that he's this type of dude, right? Me being in those positions and understanding, you know what I'm saying, that lifestyle and being and witnessing it, I'm saying that Tory Lanez is trying to pull it off. You know what I'm saying? He's probably at this party, everybody's getting lit, everybody drunk. He looking at it, it's like, I'm trying to put this together. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to pull the threesome off.
I think it was already pulled together. They got drunk.
And they might have already.
And he doing the Rico in between them,
truth
trying to
is,
defuse the situation.
The truth is that might come out on the back end that they might have already done it, which also enhances, you know what I'm saying, because now it's, who do you mess with more? And of course he gonna deal with Megan more because she's more popular and everything
Probably
like that.
not.
No, for sure. I'm saying from a sexual standpoint, he's probably knocking down Kelsey more. Right. But I'm saying who he has to cater to more is going to be Megan because of her.
That.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. 100%. Because at this point in time, we watching Tory Lanez popularity go up. They doing TikToks together. They doing little viral little dances. They got the little clips going on. So there's all that stuff going on for Tory. In that respect anyway. So whatever the tensions heighten in the car ride, right? Everybody's intoxicated. The police come, right? This goes back to what we were talking about as far as being labeled a snitch. The police come, right? What is he gonna do? He's not gonna say, oh yeah, Kelsey shot Megan.
What about him all on the jail phone?
Oh, that's what
and then
so I'm glad you brought that up.
Trying to apologize.
Because listen, I went back to the jail phone. I remember when the jail phone call first was released, right? And it made me sick to my stomach because I said to myself, why is this dude on the phone talking about this?
About anything.
Right? That was the first thing that I said to myself. Just knowing that I'm gonna get to that part of it too. I'm just being a person that's been behind the wall a few times, knowing what they can do with these phone calls, and you're not behind the wall on a conviction. You're behind the wall fighting a case, right? So you're not even guilty yet. You could still be innocent, and you're talking about what's going on in the case. So anyway, I went back and because when I first listened to it, I was like, man, this dude's stupid. But I said to myself, oh no, this doesn't sound like he's admitting that he shot anybody. I said it to myself like this just sounds like
he's concerned, he mad, he's in jail.
Right, right, exactly. It sounded like he was, when I've said this to myself, I put a note in I was like, dang, it sounds like he's shielding somebody. Right? In the phone call. I'm like, dang, that's what and then when the testimony what's the name of the law firm, Unite the People, that took over their case, that's taking over him, giving his time back. They come out with the statements after he gets poked up 14 times. They come out with the statement saying that the security guard said that Kelsey was the one with the weapon and she's the one that pulled the weapon out of the bag and brandished the firearm. So to me, when I went back and I listened to it, it sounded to me like he was still trying to protect her. You understand what I'm saying? So that's
a lot of protection.
I'm
about to sit down
I don't
for
think
10
they
years,
knew where it was
and that
going
ain't
to
the
end up.
one.
It's two friends.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that. No Diddy.
You got two friends, two girls. They might fall out right now. Now we know we got this guy who ain't us. We already fucking these two girls in Houston. We doing our thing, and we added him in the group. All right, this nigga here, boom. I don't even think they knew they had to snitch this far till it got to that point where, hey, somebody got to go to jail for Megan Thee Stallion getting shot.
Yeah,
that's the real moral of the thing.
That was evidence. Someone shot.
If they didn't want nobody to go to jail, nobody didn't go to jail.
I ain't seen no picture, no gunshot,
or did she get grazed? Because I know niggas that been shot in their hand, their hand don't work. That means you got grazed. I know niggas who done got shot, a bullet go through your hand ain't the same.
They said from the medical records.
Did you see a picture? Hold on, no, this
So
is
you
court
saying
case.
it's a whole
This is a court
conspiracy?
case. This
I
is
think
a
all
court
this
case. No,
conspiracy.
this is a court case.
What, a medical record?
This is a court case. That should be evidence inside of a court case, right?
Well, I mean, I assume it was. I don't know what was seen.
Well,
I don't know.
No, this is public information now.
Sure.
At this point, this is
Yeah.
this
There
is
is
not under
no-
seal. There
there's
has
no-
never been a picture surfaced of her having a
look.
gunshot wound
In her foot?
In her foot. No, I looked. What you talking about? I want to know. I'm messy like that. I want to know what the bullet hole looked like. And on top of that,
what kind of
and on
gun
top
you
of that-
got shot
Oh,
with?
no,
Because how the
check
hell
this
you performing
No,
3 weeks
no,
later
please,
with a
check
boot
this out.
on?
Check this out, because we know that the algorithm loves VSS, and this has all 3 elements of it, which is violence, sex, and sympathy. The algorithm loves that. Why in the world hasn't Megan Thee Stallion, Crocodile Tears? She did the 101. She did the Rihanna 101 sit down with Crocodile Tears, saying that she was a victim of and got shot. All of these things. Well, we from the streets. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting a little bit hot about it. We from the streets, right? Weezy, when have you seen anybody or heard about anybody getting shot that even in the new era of social media that didn't post the patches, the bullet hole, the wound, anything? When have you?
Your war wound is your goddamn, it's your trophy.
You showing off that trophy. Oh,
That's your trophy.
boss man, everybody that you know, they showing off that because that's a trophy, right? I know you probably not familiar with this, but I'm saying if you got the evidence and you survived it. I got the evidence of Achilles tendon tear right here, and whenever I'm around other people that we compare scars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know people
When
gonna
surgery
do that.
when
They
surgery
gonna-
comes
yeah.
up, we compare scars. So now you got a war wound. We ain't never seen this lady. She wears sandals.
I thought she had uploaded a
She
picture.
wears.
of the
Did you
foot.
just looked it up? Did
I
you
was
find
just-
it?
It was, I don't know. It's on
I think all of
BuzzFeed.
it just
All we know is that she got shot in the back of her foot, supposedly.
Yeah.
Right. Her wound came in. When she got shot in the back of the foot. So it's hard to think about what angle was she facing.
Yeah,
Can
because
she
it looked like
witness-
she got shot around her heel area, but
Yeah, if she got shot in her heel area, which direction was she facing in order to see who shot? Because only thing that I could think about is and this is all it ties into. Because that's my thing is the False Accuser Act, right? If this gets tied into the False Accuser Act, right? I sit there and I watch this man get prosecuted. You know what I'm saying? Not in court, on a 101 where I see Megan, she got crocodile tears in the 101. She got a whole situation set up like Rihanna. You know what I'm saying? So now we got all the elements of the algorithm.
Hold on, but you can't hold on. You can't. Yeah, you
Chris
can't.
Brown beat the mess
You
out of
can't.
Riri.
You can't compare them.
No,
two
no, yes,
because
it is. Yes, it
that
is.
shit was
Because
Hold on. 'Cause
It's
like I
the
said,
algorithm. You gotta let me
Hoes when you
finish.
did that.
This is the algorithm. The algorithm is VSS.
You brought up my
Violence,
boy Chris Breezy.
sex, and sympathy. You see what I'm saying? It don't have to be I'm not saying that both of the situations are the same. I'm saying that that's the way that you make a situation go viral. That's how you make a conversation or an issue explode with either violence, sex, and sympathy.
Okay.
And this situation has all 3. So
Keep
because
facting. We ain't got no
these
proof of the
people have
gunshot.
publicists, these people got publicists, these people got people that are having conversations on their behalf, and they trying to spin stories. So because you got all these ingredients, you got Megan people sitting her down. She in the 101 like Rihanna, like what Rihanna publicists did. She got the crocodile tears coming down. She's saying that Tory,
I think she testified shot by Tory.
She's saying that she got shot by Tory in this 101, and she's got on the stand and said that Tory was the one that shot her, even though the security guard
It's
Even
saying
though he
something
ain't
different.
is saying that Kelsey was the one that had the firearm.
And you
So
think-
if the False Accuser Act is in place right now, then for him to get a 10-year sentence
How long you think she should get?
and poked up 14 times by
Oh,
the
he
Negro.
getting 10 years, and he getting deported back to Canada after he served.
And he got to go back to Canada.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
he's
So,
banned from here.
so I'm
They
saying
charge
that
and
if
sentence
those
you to 10 years
protections,
in a day.
if those protections are in place, you know what I'm saying? What does he deserve if she got up there and basically accused? She was the one that got him accused because when all this happened, I said to myself, I've reflected back on the court case and the thing that really convicted him, right?
Yeah.
Which was the jail call.
Yeah, the jail call. And the fact that Megan said he shot her.
Right? Her testimony, but he convicted himself according to the court of public and popular opinion. And inside of the court,
I couldn't remember if he testified.
He didn't testify, but I'm saying he convicted himself with that jail phone call. So for me, when I'm listening to the phone call originally, my stomach already hurt because the only thing that I'm thinking to myself is why the hell is you on a jail phone? It ain't like you sentence you down the road. You in a jail fighting a case. And you having a conversation about the case. That's number one. That's the first thing.
But Kelsey was also loyal to him because she was initially saying that Tory didn't shoot Megan.
This is what I'm saying. So in that jail call, his jail call was with Kelsey. Mm-hmm. And so when you listen into the conversation, it doesn't sound to me like he is admitting that he's saying he's sorry about admitting that he did anything. It sounds like he's trying to say that he's sorry about the situation because at this point in time, it looks to me like he's covering for her. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part where and we get into this conversation is that like, man, some of this shit on you, Tory. Like some of this gotta fall on you because my hypothetical on the situation, if is it possible that Tory Lanez and his team, when all of this stuff went down, when all the news articles and all the publicity came out, is it possible that Tory Lanez and his team sat down and said, you know what, we could create a Tupac situation out of this, right? Where we can use the violence of this situation because as far as Tory goes, it looks like he's trying to push off this image and persona anyway that he's street with the beefs that he got going on with the different with the different rappers and the way that his songs is going and his previous charges. It looks like he's trying to push off a persona of being tough. You know what I'm saying? Like he's built for that. Is it possible that they said to themselves, okay, we can spin this in your favor. We can pull you off a good Tupac look, right? Where we know the facts of the case, right? We know the facts of the case that Kelsey is the one that held the gun, so we could pull off a Tupac and we could protect Kelsey by taking it to trial and depending on the fact that we gonna get his time back on appeal. If you go and you do a couple years and you sit down for a couple years, we release an album.
If that was the case, though, think about
that's too much.
You would just take the plea. That's just like Wayne. Like we talked about going back because when Wayne took that gun charge. Wayne took a plea to spend 1 year in Rikers, right? He didn't go to trial on that with the possibility of getting more time. And that's what I'm saying. Because
these weak ass lawyers tell you don't say nothing. No, bitch, I'm pushing you out the way.
He didn't testify because they're depending on the appeal. You see what I'm saying? Because there's another element about this is that this is the part where Tory is a sucker to me.
And there's no guarantee.
It looks to me like he's doing what he's doing in order to protect Kelsey.
Well, he must be in love with Kelsey.
Yeah, Kelsey is the one.
I know Kelsey.
Kelsey got why Kelsey the one box in America.
Kelsey got to be the one because Kelsey. Only thing separating Kelsey is Kelsey don't rap. Megan Thee Stallion.
She got the fires box in America.
If Megan Thee Stallion like her, and if Tory like her, and these two powerful people like this regular motherfucker, this motherfucker can't be too regular.
With firebox.
It got to be something in there.
In America.
That's what I'm saying. So I like her too.
So he said to himself, and they team saying to themselves, okay, we can maneuver this and we can spin this around, right? But then they run into an overzealous prosecutor, right? Who wants to go and prosecute to the full extent because they on the way out. Now that's what they talking about in politics. The Republicans is trying to spin it around because this guy's running as a Democrat. He's out being a prosecutor and he's running for office as a Democrat. So they using this as a way to discredit him because they basically saying that he was trying to utilize this case and platform to build up his publicity and popularity to be able to campaign for the office that he's about to run for. Right. So he runs into an overzealous prosecutor who gets him 10 years in California state prison. And that's the whole part about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I bring this up in previous episodes where I'm saying basically like, you know, rappers got the lowest life expectancy. Well, this is one of those cases because to me, these people that want to that's becoming rappers, they not from the streets, they not real street dudes. You know what I'm saying? So they get into the rap and they talking about it and they think that they convinced themselves that they really about that life. And then that team done came together and they done convinced this man that he can do this time in California. But what he don't understand is that now he's subject to the politics that come along with being in a California prison. There's nothing that you can do. Being a rapper is not to your advantage in a California prison, especially if you're not from California.
If you're not affiliated.
Yeah, if you're not affiliated. Because that's how prison works, especially on the West Coast. On the West Coast, you got cars. You know what I'm saying? Or on a bigger level, you got buses.
Does the nigga sleep when he got stabbed?
No, he had just walked out of his room. That's what the Migos are spinning the story.
I don't know about this shit. This shit don't starting to sound right. So
this is how it works out there, right? So in California, you got I say you got buses and you got cars in each side. You got cars inside of each bus. So you got a white bus, you got a black bus, you got a Mexican bus, and inside of the black bus, you got Crips, Bloods, GDs, you know what I'm saying, the different gangs or whatever like that. Mm-hmm. Then you got inside of the Mexican bus, you got, well, it's not Mexican, you know, the Spanish bus. You got the regular ice Mexican because it's you know, California. You got the regular, you know what I'm saying, just the worker Mexicans. You know what I'm saying, that need protection from the gangs because they're just regular ordinary Mexicans. So then you got the Mexicans got Crips and Bloods and MS-13 and Mexican Mafia and all that like that going on. So those are the different cars inside of the Mexican bus. Crip, Blood, you know, GD, all that kind of stuff. Those are the different kind of cars inside of the black bus. Mm-hmm. And then you got the white bus that got Aryan Nation, Ghostface, Clan, all that kind of stuff that's going on inside of the white bus. So when you go into prison, Diddy and Tory, you have to be in one of these cars. It's the only way. It's the only way that you're going to be able to survive. So if you're not paying for your protection, which you don't want to be in that position in prison, because once you start paying,
you got to get out the way.
You know what I'm saying? And so now, because it's a situation where you, like you said, you got to pay or get out the way. Now you got to pay this car. You got to inside of the black bus. You got to pay all the cars in the black bus. Guess what?
How did this Mexican get in the black bus?
The Mexicans won't. They part. So basically, so the story that I'm listening to is that the basically what they trying to say is that Tory is inside and he's trying to have motion. You see what I'm saying? So guess what? He done dropped this album. You know what I'm saying? So he lit inside of there. Everybody know who he is. He's a popular figure inside of there. And so he trying to have motion. And so, you know, in prison, the ways that you have motion is, you know, you in control of the gambling. You know what I'm saying? You in control of the cigarettes. Mm-hmm. You basically, that's the reason that's what you're being extorted for. Your money is being used to handle the pots on gambling, to handle the pots on paraphernalia that's coming into the prison, whether it's cell phones, cigarettes, or drugs. So he basically, it looks like what he's saying is I don't want to be extorted. I want to control my own motion. If it's anything, I'm gonna utilize my own bag as leverage. Mm-hmm. And so once you turn into that kind of person, that means that you got to deal with the people in the different buses.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Pay everybody.
And so that's what prison is. Prison don't have a situation where, oh yeah, you a rapper or you're a celebrity or you got money, or even if you was a low level street person, you know what I'm saying, and you was known for knocking people out. Now, once you go up and you get elevated in prison, you either a big dog or you not. You know what I'm saying? It don't got it. There's no really in between.
How the nigga get stabbed?
That's what I'm saying. So when you in prison, if let's just say like for big dogs, when you're a big dog in prison, you want trophies. You know what I'm saying? So you get trophies in prison as a big dog by taking somebody off, and Tory Lanez is itty bitty. So he has the great probability and chance of being taken off by one of the big dogs, because a big dog will fuck you in prison. You know what I'm saying? So he got a ability to be taken off, or to get poked, or to get poked up.
I seen the Mexican.
Or to get poked up, but he got life.
Mexican.
No, you don't gotta be big. I'm saying if you are real, if you from that area, if you from California, bro, and you got a certain type of position and stand, it ain't got nothing to do with your size. It has to deal with your motion.
No, I understand what you saying. I'm just on. I just be dealing with crayon sense. How the nigga get stabbed 14 times? What he did the other 12 after I poke you?
Because he not built like that. Yeah.
You gonna sit here for the other? That's why I
He
say
probably
was he slick?
dropped.
Yeah, he not built like that.
The nigga, like where he walked by? How did this Mexican hit him 14 times? What he did the other 13 after he hit you, Rico? And you said,
I'm sitting here telling you what's
Tory,
going
a
on.
little dude.
He's
poke me no more.
They sat down
too.
They sat
Where he
down
sitting there?
and they had to meet
You
you
want talking about? I got cigarettes
to pull off the Tupac move.
That ain't a Tupac move, though.
The Tupac, yes, it is. Because guess what he did when he was in there? He turned himself into Tupac off of Juice, right? He turned himself into him, and now he trying to make himself a big dog inside of the prison, right? And show and prove that he got motion, and so he walking around tough because he lining himself up with politics, and he got poked up by a big dog.
Yeah, but this is what I want to intervene. In my personal opinion, Tory Lanez is stupid as hell for even, first of all, talking so goddamn much before the case. The mixtapes, all that shit. Man, some shit, man, is not for TV. Man, I get it, but some shit, it's just common sense. It's not for TV. You're not gonna win public opinion. You're not gonna win public vote. All they know is a woman is saying you shot her. Yeah. You are the scum of the earth right now. Shut the fuck up. Go to court. Get the baddest lawyers you can get. Come out and then say, "Hey, y'all owe me an apology." Don't do all this extra ass shit, all these extra ass mixtapes, all this goofball shit.
You're right,
this
but
situation is this situation is so weird. There are so many different things. Like, why is the security coming out on the backhand side and saying all of this now? Because it looks like they choreographed this. That's what's weird about this.
It's a setup.
I mean, but that's exactly
everything
what Tory's been doing
everything
the whole
was a
time.
setup except the Hispanic gangs getting involved.
That might be a setup too. Because we ain't seen no pictures.
They got a different code.
We ain't seen no pictures of him being poked up. I want to see the scars. Same way I want to see the Megan Thee Stallion's bullet hole wounds, scars. I want to see his. I want to see because
Megan showed y'all
all of this stuff going on at the same time. They already had this evidence. They had the evidence. They got the evidence saying that he 100% his DNA evidence wasn't on the gun. Yeah. They all of this stuff post trial.
Well, that's what I was trying to see.
The testimony
like,
from
what
the security
time frame was when they got the gun, when they
Tory
made his arrest.
I feel like they put this together. I feel like him and his team tried to pull a Tupac.
Anybody knows what gunshot residue. If you shoot a gun and if they test for it.
You fucking with me?
He didn't have gunshot residue.
He didn't. That's a good point. That's the only thing that I think substantially gives him any leverage.
No DNA on the gun.
This so-called witness who could have come out during this trial.
And guess what? If you checked for DNA on the gun, right?
Yeah.
For his DNA on the gun, that means you found DNA on the gun. That means that you know whose DNA is on this gun. Why
too
hasn't
much.
that came
Too
out?
much.
Whose
You
DNA
caught
is
up
on
in
the
they
gun?
box.
Well,
It looks to
that's
me.
that's
it looks to me
exculpatory
like,
evidence.
It looks.
So
it
if
looks
you
to me
trying
like
to
they
say
still
that, now
trying to
that
protect-
gets you a new trial.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't
They
say if
still
we
trying to
test the
protect-
gun and I know it's another person's DNA. I may not know whose DNA it is unless it comes up in a database.
But what law
But if it's
did this? Who
another
did this and
DNA,
forgot it?
Now,
I'm
check this out.
entitled to that
Weird, man. You
evidence.
feel me?
Now,
That's weird.
now,
Who
Fallon,
found out
you are
the
bringing
DNA
up
ain't
the
on there or not?
exact reason why
They been new.
I figured.
What
That's
they
the
saying.
reason.
Go to
This is the
jail.
reason why I saying
'Cause
to
they suppressed
myself
the evidence.
that I feel like this was put together. This is the ultimate reason, is because the lawyers aren't trying to present this in court. They're trying to present this in the court of public opinion to force Governor Gavin Newsom to pardon Tory, right? Because if you get a pardon, all of this goes away.
I mean, well, this is distraction at the time.
And it kills.
You got the
and it
Menendez
kills,
brothers.
And it kills the
a lot
whole
of people in
case
Cali.
because in this whole situation, what I'm saying is from the jail call and everything. When you go back and listen to the jail call, it sounds like this whole situation is being put together for two things: to protect Kelsey from catching this aggravated assault charge, and also to
Gain publicity.
put Tory in a Tupac situation.
Because they own Tory right now.
They can't put him in a Tupac situation.
Yes, he can.
though.
He could come out. He could come out. Oh yeah. You
Oh,
know what
we
I'm saying?
talking about, but I mean, when it was
Tory wanted
besides
America.
when
Regardless
Tupac
of
got
the
shot,
county.
like Tupac, you talking about when he had his rape trial?
Exactly.
He would've held
Tupac went to jail for the same charge. He
For the
was
rape.
locked up.
Quebec,
Tupac
London.
before Tupac became famous, the big famous Tupac signed his contract with Death Row while he was locked up.
And then he came out
while
with
he was
California
fighting
Love. I mean, Tupac was
rape
already
charge.
popular
And
before
then-
that.
No, he wasn't this
He
popular.
wasn't mega, but he was popular.
He wasn't Death Row.
No.
California Love popular. At this point in time, he's locked up in Jersey. Tupac wasn't even from the West Coast. Tupac wasn't screaming West Coast or none of that
Until
until
he signed with Death Row.
he signed with Death Row. Death Row is Tupac.
I love my nigga Tupac.
Tupac
was
didn't get
greener
out.
than a motherfucker.
Tupac was on
Tupac will rap
bond.
with whoever though. Like, for real.
When,
Fuck you.
when Tupac signed his
This my
contract,
nigga.
when Tupac signed
Like
his
Tupac
contract
was-
with Death Row, Death Row
Motherfucker,
put up
man.
his bond.
Long live
Death Row
Pac.
was on bail, out on bail, fresh out of jail, California
Pac was
dreaming.
lamer than a motherfucker,
That
for
wasn't a
real, bro.
mistrial.
Pac was
Tupac
with
was
everybody.
fighting a rape charge. The same. It's basically
Oh, he
the
was
same.
convicted. He went to prison.
No, he was fighting it. No, he got.
I
out
thought he
on-
got convicted.
No, that was a bit. He was on. That was on. He was that. They
He got
bonded
down,
him
went to
out.
prison
Yeah,
because
Suge
he
bonded him
got
out.
shot in the
Paid the
head at Uptown
studio.
Studios when he got robbed. That's the footage that they show. Again, we need footage. This is in 93, 94. They got footage of him in the wheelchair with his head wrapped up because he actually really got shot. You feel me? And then
And it's 94, no cell phone.
Coming out the elevator.
then there is an interview with him in jail when he dropped the Me Against the World album.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So all that happened. He was
While he was
actually
fighting
he
his
was
charge.
fighting that the trial that you talking
Nigga,
about
we
is
wanna see the footage.
is when he fighting the shit with the goddamn
He was-
shooting at the Atlanta the off duty police.
No, that was
officers
in
here.
Atlanta. No, that
Yeah.
was
No,
that was
no.
in Atlanta. He's locked up in Jersey.
That nigga
No,
at this
Pac,
time.
he was convicted.
shot at the
He
police.
served 8
Little
months.
Pac.
He bonded out on appeal. I was just looking that up. So that's what happened with that case. Because I remember he sat in prison.
He was in. That's what
He
I'm
was
saying.
he served. He was convicted
there-
of that
he was there
rape. Now
to
I don't
give
know
his-
what happened on the appeal.
Yeah,
'Cause
he
didn't
was
go
there
back.
to give his time back. That's all I'm saying
Yeah.
is that he was fighting a rape charge at this point.
And trying, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so Tupac wasn't the super huge megastar artist. Me Against the World was a personal favorite for the people that are Tupac fans. But California Love,
Oh, it put him
is
on a whole
what-
nother level.
It catapulted, but it was the fact that he was fresh out of that line meant something. Fresh out of jail. You know what I'm saying? A California dream. That's the credibility that a lot of people that's not street, when they not street and they don't understand the politics that's going on as far as what the streets control with the music industry, when they don't understand, they just saying to themselves, okay, I'm just trying to be popular. I'm just trying to be famous. And they're not, they don't have that.
I mean,
street. And so that
I can see what you're going with.
So they
I
can,
can see your
so
angle.
they can be convinced by a team of people to go with a certain type of look that can project their status.
Cause that's what happened to him.
Yeah,
in the end, his ultimate demise.
He was an actor.
His ultimate demise is.
He was an
Who's
actor
that?
and
Yeah,
artist.
he what you're saying about Tory, the same thing that's going on with
And it's
Tory.
his
Pac's
demise.
actor and
Pac's
artist.
ultimate, yeah, Pac's
You right
ultimate
about that. That was
demise
the
is.
ultimate
Killed
demise.
himself. Pac wasn't supposed to be
Pac
fucking
ended up
with them
getting
folks
killed.
fighting them folks fight.
Well, I guess we can circle back to
But that's what I'm
Diddy on
saying.
killed them.
That was his ultimate
Pac-
demise.
yeah,
That's the point that
Pac
he
really
making.
could have
Like
been in the neutral thing.
being
Tupac
being
the
in
biggest
something
thing
that
ever.
you have no
He
clue
Tupac
about.
than
was
Jay-Z,
the
everybody.
face of the West Coast.
He the fa-
Revolution of the West Coast in the midst of a East Coast beef, because he is from the East Coast, of a beef that started on the East Coast because that's where he's from, between him and somebody that he rocked with on the East Coast on some street politics stuff that was going on the East Coast that deals with Haitian Jack, all of these different prominent big dogs from the East Coast come into play about the conversation of what going on with Tupac. Tupac gets bailed out and turns into the West Coast face representative, so it looked like it was an East Coast, West Coast, but Tupac ain't from the West Coast.
I understand.
He inherited that position because he signed with Death Row and he stood next to Snoop. And Snoop was the one
and
that,
Dre,
that got off of the murder. Snoop was the one that just beat the murder case. Same type situation. And when he beat the murder case, he came out on stage. They wheeled him out on the wheelchair, and that projected his status. Murder Was the Case was the biggest song out at the time, and it took him.
But Pac still got killed by a West Coast nigga during East Coast, West Coast.
No,
time.
that's not the politics was for a West Coast person to kill Tupac, but that came from the East Coast. This is all.
No,
This it's not. It's all of this is not a coincidence, right? Mm-hmm. Tory's going through what he's going through. Diddy is going through what he's going through. We just seen the big dog, Big U. He just got, you know what I'm saying, picked up. And in the midst of all of this, what we sitting and talking about, there's another big dog, you know what I'm saying, that I don't want to name or mention, that's in the mix of all of these different conversations from Nipsey to you to between LA to Las Vegas and the politics that's going on between Vegas and LA. And there's a lot of things that's coming up because even the person that's identifying who the shooter was from Vegas, he just got picked up because he did an interview, which got to be, this what you got to be careful on, all y'all that's doing these interviews and talking about all this stuff with on these podcasts. He did an interview on a podcast and incriminated himself into the Tupac case. So right now he's presently locked up as an accessory because he told on himself and basically said that he knew and could implicate what the detail was on the Tupac case. So all of these things tie in because of this people, you know, and me and we talk about this all the time. That's the dangerous part about entertainment, right? Is that people think that entertainment is being controlled by these rappers, and really it's these rooms, it's these small rooms of politics and political figures that are picking and choosing who that they can control and manipulate the most,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And so who they can make the most dollars off of. Me and you just talked the other day, you was basically like you saying the same thing, like, yeah, when you was moving around, people were reluctant to deal with a person like you because they know that they can't control you. When it comes down to people that really understand what's really going on and knows what's going on, they don't want to deal with a person like that. They want to deal with a person that they can take advantage of. And so this time period right now, before Diddy gets picked up, I was just watching Ray Daniels on somebody podcast, and he brought it up. He just now said he felt like all of this came because Cassie was feeling spiteful. She had spite
about
because Diddy turned up Young Miami with the Carisha Please.
But on the low, Diddy ahead of the game. That's why Diddy had her on like the internet saying she like to get pissed on. Miami.
Right, that's what
He
she
already
was
knew
saying
this. Diddy already seen all this coming. So
Now, I don't know if he
been
saw
like,
it coming. I'm just saying.
That's why he already like been loved doing all this weird
We'll say
shit.
that he was trying to normalize the situation. What's going on here is that
I feel him though. I feel him because when you think about it, hold on. You think about the public display that them two made, because at first I remember that time she showing her Twitters or her Instagrams or whatever. Her and this nigga at it. Her and Diddy at it.
Yeah.
And then she's turned back around. Oh, somebody I love Boo because he sent her allowance, $250,000. Like
Diddy,
they was putting that shit in your face. So, and she talking like he said she on her show talking about something. She okay with golden showers. So guess what? If she used her popularity to sway the women, that's like, well,
Same
nigga done
thing
peed
with
on me
Cassie.
before. Now, guess what? He don't look so nasty and foul when this shit come out about Cassie because you got, at the time,
a girl ain't
City
trying,
Girls
she
is the
ain't
hottest
already-
group out. You feel me?
Yeah.
So,
no, they not the hottest group out because they broke up.
no, I'm saying
No,
at that time. I'm saying at that time.
Not when Carisha Please came
Basically
out.
what I'm
But they
saying
were
is,
still the hottest group because
Diddy-
they still had the
Diddy didn't
hottest
just get a
singles.
piece
They
of
were still the
mail.
biggest.
When a nigga get child
They had the
support,
female vote. They had them.
yeah, when a nigga get child support, the female already threatened you before that. She ain't just send no fucking mail to your house. So Diddy already knew what Cassie finna do because she said something between
Oh, he
them.
knew. That's why he paid that.
So
settlement.
that's why he already set the
Tony
shit.
Busby set up the conversation.
No, Busby found
No,
out
they
after the bitch.
negotiated.
That's the lawyer shit thing.
No.
I'm talking about bitch the nigga. She already, where the paper at, nigga? You got that other
She
hoe
wanted
down
$2
there
million.
to him. No, you
The
talking
original
about
number with Cassie was $2 million.
that's on paper, but Cassie and him was on the cell phone talking. Nigga,
Like we said, them
what I'm
rooms,
talking
there's
about,
conversations going on that we don't know about.
Diddy was down in Miami with Miami, doing too much, missing calls. Okay, that's when Bugsby came in. It ain't come like you thinking like just Bugsby. It come first. Okay, you ain't listening.
What I'm saying
then, bitch.
is that
I got you.
What I'm saying is that the prominent figures are being taken away because they're the ones that are in control of the entertainment industry as far as our community goes. And if you can get them out of the way, now you're in complete control of the population. So Diddy sees something. He's that's one. You're right about one thing. He looks into the future and he says, "Okay, music is over. What can I do?" Then you look at Revolt TV. What he's doing with Revolt TV. Now he has. You look at the ranking. He has 3 of the top 10 podcasts out. You know what I'm saying? Right before he gets picked up. So now he's in control of content creation, and he has the ability to push this button on content creation. So now he's getting into media in a different. He's making himself a force now in media, and now all of a sudden, Tony Busby gets involved with Cassie. They've been already had the video. She gets the 20 million. Now she's on her tour. You know what I'm saying? Doing her smear campaign, you know what I'm saying? But they need her to do that because it don't look like a case. They need her to do that because they need to make sure that once he's free, that he doesn't have the ability. He already saw a revoke. You see what I'm saying? That you know, a lot of this conversation that we have, you know, we're talking about popular topics, but there's something inside of these conversations, you know what I'm saying, of what the show is about as far as being untrapped. Right. The one thing about Untrapped, and I can see how it's offensive to people is that the first thing that you got to do as far as being untrapped is that you got to acknowledge that you are trapped, right? And people don't want to do that. And then past that point, if you do know that you're trapped, you have to acknowledge the fact that you're comfortable being in that position. And the best way that I could describe it is, so my dog at home, when it's time for them to go, when it's time for the house to go to sleep, she goes to her own little cage, right? And she sleeps in that cage every single night. But sometimes throughout the day, when the cage is open, she'll voluntarily go inside the cage and lay down, you know what I'm saying, throughout the day from time to time.
Oh, that's home. Right? She's comfortable.
She's comfortable
familiar.
inside at home. And so that's the main part about being trapped is that when you're inside of this cage, you are being made to feel comfortable so that you can be manipulated by the powers that be.
Yeah, you become a puppet.
Right. So everybody that's inside of this cage is is saying to themselves either unknowingly not knowing that they're trapped, or knowingly knowing that they are and feeling comfortable about it, which is why they don't want people to be untrapped. They don't want individuals to be untrapped. That's why they are attacking people piece by piece, because especially people that got platforms, is because the more people that you bring out of that's what the operation is, right? Because right now the untrapped people are grossly outnumbered by the trapped people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
majority rule.
Yeah, 96% of the world is trapped. You know what I'm saying? There's only 4 to 5% of the world that's not. You know what I'm saying? And so for our community, the more people that we bring to the untrapped side, right, the better position that we can be in order to manage what they're monetizing, because they're the ones that's in control of the systems of monetization. And that's what we're missing out on. We all run to the same thing. Our culture, we all put people and we run to the same thing, which is entertainment, I include sports inside of entertainment. So we are all focused in on trying to do the same thing, entertainment. So how many black owners are there in sports leagues? Owners. Now, I'm not talking about this little 1% stuff that they're giving Jay-Z and Magic Johnson. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about majority owners. How many majority owners do we have in sports?
It's another owner on top of that owner.
I think it's really only in basketball, or it was. If we have a black owner.
I don't think that we have.
It was Michael Jordan until he sold.
And so Michael Jordan was the only one, and he sold, so he's not a majority owner. So there's not, other than Michael Jordan being the one and only owner of a sports.
It's none in football. We know that much.
None in football.
The big
in baseball, I don't think it's any.
So and now in the entertainment industry, as far as music goes, right? We used to talk about
cap us off.
Ice Cube. We used to talk
Starting
about.
No, I'm saying Ice Cube.
No, we used to talk.
He got his own league.
No, I'm saying, but that's the big three. But I'm talking about in music. You used to talk about Birdman. You used to talk about Master P. You used to talk about Diddy. You used to talk about Suge Knight. There used to be you used to talk about Scarface, Jay Prince. You used to talk about these black figures that had ownership. You used to talk about Russell Simmons. All of these figures that used to be in place, right? That were the guides for the trapped to be able to lead them and educate them into. Now all of those people are out the way. So who's in complete control of our community and our trapped people? The people that are directly monetizing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I'll give you an example.
The trappers.
Yeah, you just named all the old.
It's a different way of trapping.
They're older.
Yeah, slave mentality.
They're like how we was mentioning earlier with the Master Cooking steak. Some people didn't go because Master cooked steak that night. They ain't follow Harriet Tubman. And it's the same way. It's the same way what you were just
and
naming.
The sad part is they ain't getting no steak. They got the fat.
Yeah, they got the leftovers.
So okay, you just named all the old moguls. Now we come into today's time, right?
Russell Simmons can't even come into the country. He's scared to even come into the country.
No, but I'm giving you an example. Like, now we coming into this time. Those people not in, just as a taxi not in, just as a hotel not in. You got Uber and you got Airbnb. Now you got the internet. Things are moving faster. And it's cool to say what was in. Oh, you kids don't know this. You don't know this and what we grew up with. I understand that point too. But it can't be that, because it's like life give you lemons. Everybody gonna say what?
Make lemonade.
But that's what that's the trap mind. The real untrapped mind is life give you lemons. Fuck it, just have your own lemonade stand. So everybody who think like you, who say they got some juice, just bring your juice to my stand.
Exactly. And they want to get rid of those people that's creating the stand.
Right.
Fuck
so
that. Life give me lemons. I'm going to take the seeds. I'm going to grow me a lemon orchard.
Yeah.
Do all that, but have
I'm
your
gonna
stand
create.
right there and have something available. It's so many different ways to have shit available
I get
for
what
the
you're
next
saying.
person to be a better mogul, to be a, you know what I mean, an iron sharpen iron, to be a better consultant on being a bigger Jay-Z. Being, like, they ain't the last one. But they had to put this into place to stop that from coming, because it was coming too rapidly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the whole thing
they
about
weren't doing nothing but burning CDs and signing them, giving them some money,
like
getting a
I said
distribution
earlier.
deal. Now, if everybody can do that with music, with some free shit, Like I watched you. You know, like that's big. Like you ain't even a real artist like that. You did it off of. I felt like you the first person I seen like, damn, this nigga did something off emotion and it worked. That nigga was like, I'm finna go show y'all how to
Make
do
me
this.
soft.
I'm saying
I don't want nobody to do. I'm finna go do it.
With
You ain't gotta hate it. That's Rico.
Even with you bringing it up, because that's the hardest part about my situation, because I very rarely speak on it, right? Is that I know for 100% that I'm not a rapper. All I am is a marketer and an advertiser. That's what I'm doing. So I'm bringing attention to what I built, because I'm looking and I'm believing that you could build it from scratch. I could build something from scratch the same way that these other guys built something from scratch, right?
But think about how many
guess
people.
what? Then guess what? No. This is why the conversation is so fluid and specific with me, because I know that this ain't no coincidence. The way that my situations lined up and how things all aligned and went the other way as fast as it went, it was simple. It was simple because everybody that was inside of that room and inside of that building was about to make a life-changing. There was 30 people inside of that space.
It was cluttered.
And all 30 people in that space could have
famous.
been millionaires. That's $30 million right there. It was 30 different people inside of that studio space that was eventually in the next 3 to 6 years gonna be a millionaire piece. And I know that's for a fact because I know 10 of them. 10 of them that were not millionaires, that did not have the motion going on, that was in that space that right now today are millionaires because of that space. You know what I'm saying? But this is the recipe. The recipe is that, hold on a second, this guy right here, we not gonna be able to control. And then that's the other factor that comes in, is because now you got sheep trying to be wolves. You know what I'm saying? Not saying the Tupac effect, but you got a guy like, you want to be a big dog so bad, you don't understand what it takes to be a big dog. As far as these fake rappers, you know what I'm saying? These I'm not gonna say they fake rappers. I'm gonna say that they're rappers that are fake street people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like y'all are pushing across the street persona, which you're being fake. This is what you're selling. You're selling the algorithm, which is violence, sex, and pain, which is sorrow. You know what I'm saying? I went through this. I went through the struggle.
Yeah.
That's struggle.
But
Sorrow.
that's what they like. That's what makes good lyrics, right?
Right. Yeah, that's how they lock you in.
Yeah.
But you got to tell
So
that
it's like-
story from a positive.
It's like a payola game,
Yeah,
though. Like,
but-
it's like
Well,
a
I mean,
payola.
I need to hear from a real. You gotta be transparent.
The bigger your bag is, the bigger your comment is heard.
Yeah.
So really, you got these little people with their free phone. They can put a little free comment, and if it's good, people gonna like it. But Tory Lanez, his bag so big, if he comment on the,
But it's not though.
It's big enough for people to hear it.
If
I'm just saying, like, when
if
his
Tory
comment
Lanez's
come,
bag was
or
big, he
anybody
would have
else-
never ever sat down at the table and agreed to put his life in turmoil to pull off the move. I don't, because the Tupac situation was an accident. That was accident. That was fate. That all came together as fate. They didn't do that on purpose. I'm saying to you that his team looked at this and said to themselves, "What I see other I feel like that's what happened with the Shannon Sharp situation. I feel like Shannon Sharp
that
is
happened with
choreographing all of this right here because he's trying to bring
It's Busby again.
Yeah, you see the same people. It's the same equation over and over again.
Well, Busby knows the right ones to attack. When we talk about Shannon,
You
Shannon
said-
was about
you
to get
said
that
attack-
$100 million deal. And then
But
it's right.
why? Because he
Boom.
already pulled this other play off where, with the fake live, you know what I'm saying, having
Yeah.
sex on live.
Well, we said Jay-Z called him out on his, so Jay-Z was able to skirt out of his situation, but because that wasn't true. The girl lied from what we heard from her own father. But when you look at
Yeah,
these
but and whoever that
moguls-
girl is that lied, she needs to be prosecuted by the
Why
false
Busby
accuser
don't
act.
need to be prosecuted?
Well, that's
He
what
needs to
others
be
have
prosecuted.
said.
That's
Like
what I'm saying.
Jay-Z
That's
has
why we
been
need
pushing for
protection.
that, saying he's a
Why you
joke.
just won't go to the
and all
source
this
We
stuff.
need
stage?
protection from the Tony
Well,
Buzzes
it
of
ain't
the
gonna get
world.
you-
Nah, just like they used to hang a nigga.
It
to
can
give
get you
an example.
disbarred.
Why won't you do that to Busby?
If they find out that you doing
Busby will
something.
be a big enough example for all the false accusers, right there. You don't really have to. Just like you hung a nigga
Yeah, if
and
we
say
pay
don't
attention,
run
like I said
away.
before, man, you rap.
But besides the situation with Jay-Z, who else are we saying falsely accused anybody? We saying Cassie did?
I'm saying that Diddy is guilty of domestic violence. We seen the
Okay.
video. He's guilty of that. Everything else that we looking at, this don't look like no federal case.
I think, but
How you
no,
know
it
she didn't
doesn't.
have his phone?
That's another thing I was going to say. How these two get that?
You drug.
They-
No matter
they
what,
kept these phones
no
at these
matter,
phones.
no matter
They
what
kept
she
these
had.
receipts
Talking
this
about you ain't
long.
got it.
Them
He
two,
dragged her.
between
He
him
dragged
and
her. He
Like,
dragged her
come on.
down the hallway.
You know, it's some text in my
In the
phone. I just
hotel.
started changing because my phone was backing up. But I'll keep a text thread for at least a year. Some people just leave it on.
But that's what I'm saying. We talking about celebrities. We normal people.
Now,
right?
I
we
think
talking
if-
about
yeah.
we talking about Cassie and Diddy.
Diddy
You
look
two
like she took his
motherfuckers
phone
had
and
the
came out the
same
shower
phone
and she
number
ran
to
with
each
his
other
phone.
for 10 plus
That
years.
is crazy, isn't it?
You two had the same phone number for 10 plus years. What is a phone between just y'all two? Because any celebrity nigga that I know, they gotta switch their phone because somebody accidentally gives their
You
phone
know
number
that that's
to the
their
wrong
phone
person.
number. He paying the bill.
But I'm saying, so they have a private phone between each other.
It might be like that.
Probably with those
10
conversations.
years, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not keeping no
No,
thread
I get what
on
you're
no
saying.
phone
It's no
for 10
celebrity that I would
years.
think would have a phone number, the
No,
same number for
I'm
that
thinking
long.
she doing her thing.
No, he kept the thread. He needed the thread for insurance purposes either.
He
too.
did for blackmail.
Come on, man. This
She
what
was
I'm
doing
talking
her
about.
in check.
Inside
And
them
you
rooms,
might
this
keep
ain't
your
no
phone with
secret.
this plug,
These
this phone,
people
just
are being
throw
attacked.
it away.
Jay-Z was ready for it. His lawyers and everything was ready for it. He didn't come out and make no public statement and try to get sympathy or sorrow. Jay-Z ain't playing none of that. He said, "Nah, right now we gonna kill all this noise right now. I've been ready, and I'm ready for the next one that comes out too, because this is a recipe. This is a formula, and until there are protections in place, until people start waking up and putting themselves in positions of power, until we start leveraging our own selves and what we do and monetizing what it is that we're trying to do. The entertainment business is a sketchy thing, but it's
How about
what
this?
our
How about we
community
stop trying
wants
to
go
fit in?
into it, right? That's what I'm saying.
How
That's
about
what-
we stop trying
that's
to
what-
fit in?
That's why my reason for bringing in different characters on the show. You know, Fallon, you a lawyer. You just made partner on your law firm, and you're a commentator for women's basketball, and you're a board member on my nonprofit Incentivize Greatness, where we go back into the community and we had these conversations with the kids and we teach them that there are other opportunities out there besides being in the entertainment industry and things like that going on. You know what I'm saying? You're up and coming, you know what I'm saying, comedian, and even though right now today you don't have a household name, you know what I'm saying, you working towards being a household name, and that's the way that it works. Is you put in the work. You know what I'm saying? You realize what your material you come into yourself as a
Correction.
person.
I love you. I actually am a household name, but I ain't shit yet.
Yeah.
You go to
We gonna get you that
and say
Netflix
Pee-wee.
special.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you a household name.
Not
I'm a
Pensacola.
household name.
Oh.
yeah. I'm household
P-Cola?
name. Yeah, I'm from P-Cola. You go to P-Cola and say whisper,
Yeah.
they gonna know like, oh, that one.
Right.
But I ain't where I want to be. I ain't famous at all.
Right. But I'm saying,
I'm trying to get
nobody was until they went through. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I love
If
you.
Kevin Hart can do it, you know what I'm saying? Pee Wee, Boss Man, we can do it.
We damn
you know what
sure
I'm saying?
coming.
Same thing with you, Weezy. If Fubu, you know what I'm saying? If Damon John can take Fubu and turn himself into a super mogul and be on Shark Tank with, you know what I'm saying, the most powerful and influential business people in the world, then why can't you? You know what I'm saying? With what we with
Sacks
Sacks Full. You know what I'm saying? And so it's important that we start highlighting these conversations and having and not only that, putting ourselves and supporting ourselves and elevating each other to a high level, so that when we get there, we can go back and give, because that's the biggest part
Right.
about being trapped is that everybody that's inside of this trap right here, the one thing that they are not going to do is share information.
Nah, it's
That's
not even
the
that.
biggest fear that they have. They want to say they don't want to share information with the next person, and the next person take that information and utilize it. and blow
utilize it to
up.
do something with it. Yeah. So they don't want to share information, and they also don't want to do with that's why I say we don't got no community. Because every other community, I'm gonna spend all my money back and forth
Yes,
with
we
you.
do community right
Right? No, we don't.
I
Because
get-
of the simple fact
yeah.
that, guess what? You my mans. This my mans. Just met her. She's super cool, right? I got y'all genuine support on the clothes now, right? I take it as somebody that's in even a slight position, maybe a step ahead of me. I told my partner this the other day. The problem that it is with a lot of us, especially black men, right? Everybody want to be King Kong, beat their chest, right?
Yeah.
Nigga, guess what, bruh? Everybody's a king on their board. Everybody's a chief on their board. But you have to know when to be an Indian or a pawn. Being a pawn does not mean you're a sacrifice. That means if you get across to the other side, you king over there too. Now you got the board covered. Niggas ain't gonna do that.
But
we
no,
gonna
that's
support.
what I'm saying. You're talking about something that is actually a part of the problem too. Is that you're focused on somebody else making you or putting you in a position. No,
I just said, what I'm talking, everything I said is about me. I'm king
I'm
on my
saying-
board,
I'm
but
not-
I'm pawned on your board.
I'm not saying that.
I'm king
talking
of my
about the actual situation
What
of
you
the
focus
clothing
on.
line, like-
You just now named 3 additional people personally, and you know there's going to be people that are going to view, and hopefully, you know what I'm saying, they'll hit the link inside of your bio and purchase something. But you're talking about, you just brought up somebody going to somebody else that's not going to help you. Well, why focus on them? Why not focus on the 2 or 3 people that are?
No, I didn't say I'm not focused on that. You misunderstand. I said the problem is the buck stops there. We don't have that big support system.
We don't have that
amongst
community where
ourselves.
we
We don't have
help.
that community
It takes
vibe. You
one
feel
person
me?
at a time.
It's
Like-
very cutthroat.
Yeah, it's very
like
cutthroat.
if you get jealous and you see somebody else that is
gotta have-
killing
but
it right
you gotta
now,
have patience.
and it's a
If this is
reflection.
community,
And I
it
think
takes one person
it
at a
does.
time
Patience
to
is
bring.
Patience come with sense,
you
too.
cannot. You
A lot
cannot
of people don't
bring.
be
You
willing
cannot
to
bring
lose in
people
business
in a
like
groups.
that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that
It
same
takes one
sense,
person at a time until you get
some
enough
stuff you
people.
gotta sacrifice on your, like, people have clothing lines and they just say, Paul, if I go to this bank or this investment company or anybody else who want to invest in my company or help me, it looks better with this white boy or these white folks giving me their money. You know what I mean? But it's easier, honestly, for that same instinct of, you know, that crab in the bucket, that person who you feel hating on. It's easier for me to go to him with my clothing line and let's say, hey, I got this clothing line coming out. I got this plan I want to give you because I already know what niggas thinking. You gonna not like me soon. You want to be the boss. So you know what? I'm gonna make you the boss of something I thought of.
Yeah, but
for
Damon
3
John
months,
didn't do that,
for this,
though.
and then next 3 months,
He
boom,
didn't,
like a.
but he
it did. No, I'm
but
saying it gotta
Damon
be a
John
new
didn't
way
do it by
to
himself.
make people feel that way. Cause now that's how
Somebody
Uber did
had to pay
They
it
saying,
forward to
bitch,
open the door for Damon John to
drive your
get that
car.
opportunity.
No, that's what I'm saying
part
to
of
you.
it.
Damon John
You know what I
literally
mean?
worked at a
Nah, I
restaurant
get it.
and was selling clothes
that's
out
the
of
world
his
moving
trunk.
faster.
He went
That's
from
why
selling.
you
He
gonna be
went from
selling
selling.
shirts
He
after
went from selling clothes
goddamn
out of his
trunk.
trunk to buying an office and distribution space out at the Empire
Who?
State Building. Damon John with FUBU.
That shit over with.
No, it's not over with. No, that's what the problem is that people don't want to go through the process. Damon John didn't go to try to deal with
No, I'm not
somebody
saying-
from
I think it's
somewhere
two
else.
differences, and
He
correct me if
catered-
I'm
he
wrong with the
catered to-
argument.
He catered to his own people.
He
and he
has.
sold out of his trunk and gained his clientele one by
But
one.
even when we talk about Damon John on The Apprentice, whatever, or not Apprentice, what's the show? Shark Tank. He's paying it forward to other entrepreneurs who are trying to come up and make or find decisions or decide if he wants to invest in their business. I mean, it grows his wealth too, but that's the type of paying forward that we're trying to say. In our community, or you just want to say the black community in general, we get so caught up of seeing somebody do well that we either look, like talk about them, talk down on them, put out bad stuff about them because of jealousy. Instead of just putting the effort, and I think it's coming from what you're saying, what Damon John had was the work ethic to know he could do it on his own.
He had the
and
patience.
he had the patience, but he also had the work ethic.
One person at a time.
And that's what it is. But we don't do that as a community to try and uplift somebody else up.
That's
If
fine.
Weezy's killing
I'll
it with
do
this
it.
clothing
I'm
line
cool
and
with
it's
one
something I'm
person at a
interested
time.
in, I'm gonna be like, yo, hey, let's chop it up. Maybe go get lunch or get a drink. Let's talk about it. What worked for you?
We gotta wrap this up.
Nowadays, it's payola. You got to pay people to listen to you.
Man,
Damn near if you want them to. You just can't have these folks come.
I don't
Time
care
is
about
money.
payola.
Guess what?
I appreciate every new person
real
via
quick.
share or whatever that joins in on these conversations
A young-
and episodes by Untrapped Mind. We gonna wrap this up. Listen, one person at a time. Leverage your situation. Be willing to believe in yourself. Be willing to put in the work. no matter what the job or occupation that you're in, there's low levels to every occupation and there's high levels to every occupation. There's an occupation that pays $40,000. There's the same thing where I say when it comes down to plumbers and welders and electricians. You could be a plumber, welder, electrician, or school teacher and make $40,000. You could be a plumber, welder, or electrician and make $400,000. You can be a doctor, right? Just a general practitioner and make $80,000-$90,000, or you could be a doctor that is a specialist and make $800,000 to $900,000. It's the problem is that we don't want to take the time to specialize. We don't want to go through the process of being experts at our craft and building one by one.
Exactly.
We appreciate you guys tuning into this episode. Once again, we appreciate the sponsor, Sacks Full, my boy Weezy 100 in the
You
building,
feel me?
my boy Boss Man Wee,
For sure.
and my homegirl Fallon. Appreciate you guys for joining me for another episode of Untrapped Podcast. We'll see you guys next time.